Hey there, tubers. It is I again with another cell phone comparison. Got the OnePlus 7 Pro here on the left, the S10 Plus here on the right. I'm just actually sold my S10 Plus after getting the OnePlus 7 Pro. I really like OnePlus products. Anxiously awaited for the 7 Pro to come out, and I'm glad that I have it. Figured I would make a video, show you some differences and why I'm going with the 7 Pro. Spec wise, they're very similar. The 855 Snapdragon, they both got 8 gigs of RAM. They're both 128 gigs of storage. Blah blah blah, all that, whatever. They're both fast. They're both really good phones. Some differences right off the top. You got a headphone jack with the S10 Plus. You don't with the OnePlus 7 Pro. I really miss that. I wish that it was on the OnePlus, but it's not, so I'm a dongle guy now. What are you going to do? They both got stereo speakers. They use the earpiece at the top for one, and then the bottom speaker for the other one. And they're both about the same to me, which is saying a lot because the OnePlus 7 Pro or OnePlus has really upped its game in speakers over the years. I had the OnePlus 6 and I thought it was really loud. Not particularly good, but loud. The OnePlus 7 Pro is equally as good as the Sammy. The displays you can see, and I'm filming this with my wife's iPod Touch, so it may not show up the best. The displays are both very good. The OnePlus 7 Pro has the 90 Hz refresh rate on it. The Samsung is the normal 60 Hz, but I don't really notice. I'll be honest with you, if I didn't know this was 90 Hz, I wouldn't know it was 90 Hz. Whatever, I'm not a gamer. What I can tell you is they are both extremely bright, very clear displays, both OLEDs, really cool to look at. The Samsung, the S10 Plus, does get much brighter in full daylight and full sunlight than the OnePlus 7. It doesn't mean that this is bad. It doesn't mean you can't see it. It's just not as bright. I did have, with this Samsung, when I first got it, in full daylight, in full sunlight, I should say, it would invert the colors on the display. And it did that for a while, a couple of weeks, I would say. I don't know if they fixed it with an OTA update, but it hasn't done it since, probably April. Why it was doing it then, I don't know, but that was very frustrating. The one thing about that is as soon as you get it out of direct sunlight, the colors would revert back to normal, but that was just weird. It was freaking weird. Past that, I don't have a problem with either display. I think they're both great. Clearly, you've got the 2-hole cutout here for the selfie cams, and you don't over here with the OnePlus. And I know here, let's just do it because do a little double tap of the. Oh, look at that! Hi, Mr. Selfie Cam. Doesn't get any cooler than that as far as that goes. No hole punch over here, which is great. I will say with the Samsung S10 Plus, I never even noticed the hole punch there. It's got to be some trickery of the mind with having pixels lit up around it that you just eventually forget that it's there. I can't say that about the notch. The OnePlus 6 had the notch. The V40 had the notch. I had both of those, and you always knew there was a notch there. But that hole punch, I never noticed it, to be honest with you. What are some of the other? The One UI with Samsung, their revamped version of Android on here. There are a couple things I really like about it. One is their system-wide dark mode, which expands even into their browser. So when you have dark mode enabled on this, everything goes dark mode, even their browser. And I thought that was really well done. Another thing I like is it's a little more customized to one-handed use. So when you swipe down, you get all of these shortcut icons down here, almost reachable within thumb's length. And on standard Android, they're still way up here at the top. And or more standard Android, I should say. I missed that when I went to the OnePlus 7. I forgot that that's how Android actually was that they were up at the top like that. That was really well done, and that your brightness is right here. Good on you, Samsung, for that. The wireless charging I've never used. I don't care that the OnePlus doesn't have it. The S10 Plus has the wireless charging share, which I used one time to charge up my Galaxy Buds that came with it. Cool. Just I know why they did it. I can see how it's useful. Just wasn't really for me. What are some of the other things? I definitely like. So I've got the blue color of both here. I love the way the OnePlus 7 looks compared to the S10 Plus. This looks like a raccoon to me, with that black band right across the middle. I could never stand that. Just didn't like it. This just looks more normal. I don't know why, but maybe it's just a me thing. Gesture controls. So Samsung has, I actually don't know how Android P does this out of the box. I think I've got it set up, or Samsung does, at least the way that it just kind of is. So if you swipe up on the right, you get your recent apps, right? If you swipe up in the middle, that takes you to home, and then the swipe on the left is, this is your normal back button, okay? So that's how Samsung does it. I really like the way OnePlus does it, and the OnePlus 6 was the same way. I'm sure the T was too. Swipe up in the middle and hold, and then that gives you your recent apps. Swipe up in the middle, takes you home. If you, turn on the camera app. So if you want to switch between recent apps really quick, swipe up and drag over. As a BMW I was working on, and it'll switch between the last two. And I think that is really cool. I like that, use it a lot, all the time. Especially when I was doing Postmates, and you're going between the Postmates app and Waze. You're just constantly switching from one to the other. A lot quicker than having to pick the app and switch back and forth manually. So that means that when you have your browser open, you swipe up on either side on the OnePlus 7 to go back. Kind of neat. And then your, what is this? If I swipe up here, no, I think that's it. Yeah, covered everything. At least everything that I know of. Here, the elephant in the room. The fingerprint sensors. The S10 Plus doesn't work at all. The OnePlus 7 Pro works perfect. Boom, I'm in. Oh, you know what? I think I turned it off on this because it was so bad. The ultrasonic fingerprint sensor on the Samsung S10s is so bad, it's unusable. And it's not just this particular phone that I have. It's not just the S10 Plus. I had an S10 where it didn't work either. There's all kinds of comments around on the internet. They don't work. And I don't know why this is not a bigger thing than it is. I don't know why people aren't talking about it more. Perhaps it's just me. Maybe it's just my thumbs. I don't know. I tried them every which way from Sunday to get to work on both phones, and I gave up. And it was taking a step back in technology. I ended up just using the less secure face unlock on the Samsung to unlock it, and then I had to go back to PIN codes to get any kind of secure logins to my apps. It is terrible. The display fingerprint sensor on the Samsung S10s is terrible. It doesn't work. It's terrible to the point of non-functioning. The optical one on the OnePlus 7 Pro is awesome. I've hardly had it to miss unless my hands were dirty. The times when it worked the best on the S10 Plus was when my fingers were wet. If they weren't wet, and I live in Las Vegas, so they're never wet, the thing, it would never read. Totally frustrating, and I just gave up on it. It was that bad. So if you're debating it based upon fingerprint sensors, there's no debate. This one works great. This one doesn't work at all. Um, I would say, you know, you've got little quirks about OnePlus that they do. You've got your alert slider here on the side, which is really nice to have, of course. And then you've got a much more well-placed power button down here, almost in the middle. The Samsung is way up here at the top. Um, I don't know why. I never found it to be a huge issue, but some people did. They didn't like it. And of course, you've got Bixby over here on the side. It was no problem for me. The S8 I had, it seemed like I hit this button all the time, like super sensitive, and Bixby was always on. The S9 I had wasn't as bad, and the S10 Plus, like if I hit this button 10 times, I'd be surprised. I just don't use Bixby. I don't use any of the assistants. No use for them. You know what? Let me bring up a couple of videos so you can see the displays in action. Let's see what we got. I'll bring up Discover Go here, Discovery Go. And again, I'm filming this with an iPod, you know, not the greatest and latest technology here, but we'll just get a little Deadliest Catch going. Normally when you're looking at the ocean, they're going to be vibrant pictures and stuff like that. So there you go.
There's days out here that you'll never forget. Watch out, hang on.
Okay, they're a little closer. You can see they're just about the same.
Wish we had as many good days as we've had.
All right. So the displays are, you know, when it comes to like viewing them, using them, they're the same to me. Only in bright sunlight do you notice any difference. So that's my rundown between the two phones. I liked them both, but the S10 Plus, because of the fingerprint sensor, I knew I wasn't going to keep very long, and also I had a lot of trouble with their trade-in program. I've got another YouTube video on that. If you get suckered in by that, be very, very, very careful. Document everything on your old phone before you send it in. Watch my video and you'll find out why. Always take a picture of your phone with your IMEI on it and the date before you send it in. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching this, and let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy your OnePlus 7 Pro, because I know that's what you're going to buy.